All right, so one of my posts last week, I wrote here, Jesus was very kind and compassionate. That's true. Yet at other times, he was extremely firm and full of righteous indignation. All right, so a lot of people, they just like the one side to Jesus. You know, the lovey-dovey kind of Jesus, everything's fine and except for when it comes to the Pharisees, of course. Well, they understand that. Jesus was basically rebuking them all the time for all the right reasons, obviously. But you know what? There are times where Jesus was rebuking his own disciples, all right? And if you read in Revelation regarding Jesus and the seven churches, I believe, so there are some churches there that he wasn't exactly thrilled with some of the things that they'd been doing. All right. So, Jesus in his humanity, but also God, God is not one of those guys that just, everything's fine and love, love, love. No. Not at all. I posted some time ago about, if you're just preaching on the love of God and not on the wrath of God, you're preaching another gospel. And boy, I got rebuked. Well, I don't care because it's true. You got to teach the whole counsel of God. And there are times where Jesus, he wants to rebuke you. Yeah, and I heard this years ago. The Lord told this preacher, he said, I can't rebuke my church because my church is so immature that it would take it wrong. And it's like children, you correct children. I don't have children, but I've been around enough children and parents and all that. Most children, they start crying when they get corrected. That's because they're immature. And the Bible says in Hebrews that he chastises those he loves. So we need to see all of Jesus. I'm working at having Christ formed in me, Galatians 4:19. I'm doing a lot to have Christ formed in my soul, all right? Because I already have his new nature. But I want to see the fullness of Jesus in my life and through my life. I want to see the fullness. It's part of your full sonship. I'm always talking about, walking in the fullness of your sonship. Well, you know what? And there's a place where I don't agree with, and that is, we do have some righteous anger in the church towards sin in the camp, but also towards the world. And that self-righteousness or that anger, that indignation towards sin, it's not done in the spirit. It's done by the flesh, and some people can't tell, but I can usually tell. I can usually tell when it's flesh. All right. So we got to do things by the Spirit, even being kind, being loving. I want to do things by the Spirit and not in my flesh. All right. So anyhow, shalom and grace be unto you.